Everyone has heard about the shocking case of the two astronauts who got stuck in space. The good news is that both astronauts are safe and are currently hosted on the ISS with enough food and supplies to last for a really long time. But there's more to that story, especially for Boeing. It's just the beginning, and if you want to know Boeing's fate in the aftermath of all these developments, make sure you watch till the end. I'll also be revealing how Boeing's biggest competitor, SpaceX, is involved. So, there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But before we get right to it, I'd like to welcome you to the Space Minds channel. Here we post content related to space and the galaxy, so if you want to stay updated with space news and happenings, just click the subscribe button and of course ring the notification bell too. NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore have been at the International Space Station for more than 2 months now. They did not take a private vacation there. It was for a mission that was not supposed to last more than a few days. But due to what can be called a series of unfortunate events, their return date of mid-June has been well extended and they are still currently at the International Space Station. The astronauts travelled on the famed Boeing Starliner spacecraft on what was the spaceship's very first manned flight. The mission was simple. It was just to test what the Starliner could do as part of the requirements it needed to meet before getting certified to fly a 6-month astronaut mission to and from the ISS for NASA, the biggest space organization of all. The mission was well on track for success. The Starliner itself was a pretty capable spacecraft, designed to be very efficient and mostly reusable. It was supposed to be one of the most important spacecraft in NASA's collection. But unfortunately, some things went wrong. But what exactly went wrong with the Boeing Starliner? Well, in a surprising turn of events, the Starliner lost 5 out of the 28 reaction control system thrusters installed as part of the Starliner's module. 5 of them just shut down unexpectedly, although the remaining 23 still got them where they needed to go. But that's not all. NASA later reported that the Starliner also suffered quite a lot of helium leaks in different parts of the spaceship. They first found some helium leaks and at the same time, the thrusters failed, and then there were 4 more sometime after. It was a very embarrassing period for Boeing. They had already faced so many issues since the beginning of the year, especially in their airplane department, that caused the public to lose confidence in the company, and then this happened. They are in a really bad situation, but that's not the worst thing that has happened to Boeing yet. It seems that even NASA, Boeing's biggest customer, is gradually losing confidence in them. Boeing is the prime contractor for NASA's new and gigantic space launch system, but according to a report, the spacecraft company is not doing much to impress NASA yet. The Space Launch System, or SLS as it's more commonly known, is NASA's big plan with spacecraft to take humans beyond the grasp of Earth's gravity. It is being designed to fly humans to the Moon, Mars, and even deep space. The SLS is a super heavy lift expandable launch vehicle. The spacecraft's first and primary mission is to land on the Moon. In fact, it is the primary launch vehicle of the Artemis moon landing program. It has been in development since 2011 to serve as the replacement for the retired Space Shuttle and the cancelled Ares 1 and Ares 5 launch vehicles. Since it's basically just a replacement vehicle for the shuttle program, the SLS reuses some hardware from the old rocket, while some other parts have been contracted out to other companies, including Boeing. But according to NASA's Office of Inspector General, Boeing is butchering their chance. According to a report released by NASA's Office Inspector General, there are several critical issues in Boeing's work on the development of NASA's Space Launch System mega rocket, and this is going to cause delays in the Artemis moon missions. The report was released on the 8th of August. It was mostly focused on the SLS's gigantic Block 1B and its exploration upper stage, which was designed to increase the amount of cargo the SLS could carry to the moon. Boeing is building its assigned parts at NASA's Midchild Assembly Facility in New Orleans. However, the Office of the Inspector General found that the work being done by Boeing on the SLS's core upper stages and even its rocket flight avionics suite does not meet the current international standards or agency requirements. Apparently, Boeing has already been issued numerous corrective action requests by the Defense Contract Management Agency. Now, we don't know just how many of these corrective action requests have been issued by NASA, but by the sound of it, it might be a lot, and that's embarrassing for a company like Boeing. However, apart from the number issued, another issue is the type of corrective action requests issued. You see, corrective action requests are of different types. They usually vary in terms of how severe they are, but all of them mean pretty much the same thing. The work is not being done right. The Office of the Inspector General also pointed out that the fact that Boeing's poor quality issue might be caused by the fact that Boeing lacks a sufficient number of trained and experienced aerospace workers to get the job done and get it done right. The report also showed that Boeing has not provided adequate training and supervision for its workers, and that has caused many of the deficiencies that have occurred in the building of the SLS parts assigned to Boeing. And that just leaves you to wonder how safe and reliable the SLS will turn out to be, if this is the level of quality Boeing is bringing to the table. This is a vital project that could mean the advancement of humanity as a race, and it cannot be messed up. Not to mention that it is an expensive project. According to NASA, building SLS Block 1B will cost approximately $5.7 million before the SLS launches in 2028. To add to Boeing's problems, NASA, the company's biggest contractor, has turned to Boeing's rival SpaceX to bring home the two astronauts that Boeing Starliner has left stuck in space since early June. NASA has said the two astronauts, Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, will not be riding back to Earth on the Boeing Starliner, but instead they will be flying back home on a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule. It's a big blow to Boeing's credibility, but NASA has said that they are just doing what is best for the astronauts as they intensify efforts to get them back to Earth. SpaceX has been one of NASA's most reliable services, so the decision to use it is very reasonable. The Boeing Starliner has also faced multiple issues even before it launched into space the last time. Boeing's inefficient services made the Starliner program run more than $1.5 million over budget and also caused the launch to be years behind schedule. But as for the Boeing Starliner, it will be returning home unmanned, since the astronauts that took it to space will be hitching another ride courtesy of Elon Musk's company. But despite the fact that NASA has already decided on how the astronauts will be coming back home, they have announced that the rescue trip will not be held immediately. In fact, it might take a while before they can finally bring them back. The flight to bring the astronauts was actually slated for this month, August, but due to some factors involved, the mission has been pushed back to September. NASA officials have said that this pushback will help them buy more time to analyze the thruster and leak problems that the Starliner has. But more than that, NASA gave a stronger reason for the delay. Apparently, only 2 docking ports at the International Space Station can accommodate US astronaut capsules, and both of them are occupied at the moment. So until one of them is freed up, no ships can come on board. Thus, the SpaceX rescue ship will need to wait. But as it stands, SpaceX already has the contract to bring home the astronauts. Be that as it may, Boeing has been conducting thruster test firings on the ground and in space to better understand why 5 of the thrusters failed in the initial mission. Fortunately, they have been able to get 4 out of the 5 working again. However, the issue of helium leaks still needs to be solved. But the company seems pretty confident that they can get the Starliner back in flying conditions soon. The company came out to say that they remain confident in the Starliner spacecraft and its ability to return safely with the crew. But regardless of their confidence in their product, SpaceX already got the contract. With all of Boeing's problems, it's certainly going to be tough for them to win back anyone's trust again. And that brings us to an end for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Space Minds channel for all the latest space news and updates.